Hello, everyone. This is Stacey Gotsoulias, the host of Locked On Yankees. This is my first video podcast, and I chose to record it after the Yankees escaped a bases-loaded, no-outs jam in the top of the seventh against the Red Sox of all teams. The Red Sox didn't score. It's a miracle. Anyway, we'll talk about that first game. We'll talk about Gerrit Cole's performance in last night's game. I apologize for this episode being late. Technical difficulties, but I'm here. It's the first video podcast. If you're not on video and you're just listening to me, welcome to the show. Well, again, we'll talk about this game that just happened. I'm still in shock. It only ended 5 minutes ago, and I can't believe the Yankees didn't blow that. If it was the Yankees from 3 weeks ago, they definitely would have blown that game. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about last night's game. But first, you can get this podcast audibly on, let's see, Apple, Google, Spotify, Odyssey, Stitcher, everywhere else. And then you can see us on YouTube. So subscribe if you want to do that. And make sure you hit the bell, I believe, because that's the notification. So anyway, let's get into last night's game. Now I'm going to use my phone to read some of the stuff because I don't have everything in front of me. This is my first one. I will be better at this once I get used to being on camera. By the way, this is my brother's room. He has, wait, I'm pointing the wrong way. He has much cooler Yankee memorabilia than I do in my room. I'm still working on a permanent site for this show, but I figured I'd put this here for now because, again, he has a lot of cool stuff. And, wait, hold on. WWE belts. I don't know. Anyway, let's look at last night's game. Cole comes back. He survives. No, I'm kidding. It was against the Angels. They won 2-1. Now, the funny thing about last night's game, the Angels score in the first inning on a home run, Upton against Cole. It was a 3-1 pitch. It was a bad 3-1 pitch, and Upton hits it to left field. Then in the bottom of the first, Joey Gallo hits a 2-run home run into the second deck, which is more of a Joey Gallo home run than him hitting it barely into the seats. So I liked seeing that from him, and he's on fire lately. And that's all the scoring that happened. 2-1. The Yankees bullpen was able to hold the Angels, not give anything up, because the last time we saw the Angels was that infamous game where Aroldis Chapman gave up the grand slam in the ninth inning. And if you listen to this show and you know I was there for that, it was my first game in nearly 2 years at Yankee Stadium, and I was treated to that. So, oh yeah. So this was a good win for the Yankees last night. Again, 2-1. And let's go through everything. Why not? So let's look at Cole's numbers. Cole had 9 strikeouts, along with that home run, 1 walk, 5 2/3. He said he felt tired. Understandable. He said that when he had COVID, it was like having a bad flu, which is what it's supposed to happen when you're vaccinated. And speaking of that, Anthony Rizzo was working his way back. He had his cardiac work done to make sure that he was okay. You know, Judge and Higashioka had that done as well when they were on their way back. So expect to see him hopefully tomorrow against the Red Sox. Gary Sanchez returned today. So yeah, things are coming along for the Yankees. And let's look at the bullpen. Britton, 1/3 of an inning, 1 strikeout. That's all we needed to see from Zach Britton, honestly. Albert Abreu, 1 2/3. He struck out 2. Joely Rodriguez strikes out Ohtani and basically moonwalks off the mound, which I thought was the greatest thing ever. And then Chad Green pitches the last inning, gets 2 strikeouts, gives up a hit. You know, I always get a little worried when I see Chad Green in a game just because he has the tendency to give up home runs. And I was really hoping that he wouldn't do that in such a close game, and he did not. So again, 2-1 Yankees. Cole comes back, looks pretty good. You know, endurance is a bit of a problem, but he just had COVID. So I expect that to correct itself once he gets used to being back with the team and working on stuff. I do know that he was throwing while he was still on the COVID list with his son looking on, and his wife helps him out. So, you know, I know that he was working out, but it's got to be when you have something like that and you come back from it and have to pitch a game. I wasn't expecting him to go out and pitch 7 innings. So 5 2/3, fine. As for today's game, let's talk about today's game because I'm still in, well, I should say the afternoon game. We still have a game tonight. Oh, When I saw Loizaga load the bases with no outs, after watching what happened in Fenway a few weeks ago with the bullpen, and just even with the Yankees playing as well as they've played over the last, what are they, 20-8 in their last 28 games? Is that what I saw last night? And now they're 21-8 in their last 29, and they've won 10 of 11 series, and they're doing really well. It just feels like last year with the Rays kept beating them up. They just couldn't do anything against the Rays. It almost feels that way with the Red Sox. And when the Red Sox loaded the bases, I thought to myself, here we go. A little early because it's a 7-inning game. Usually the Red Sox like to score on the Yankees and mess things up for the bullpen in the 8th inning, but they didn't have an 8th inning in which to do that. And then the Yankees get out of it, and I'm still floored. I can't believe it. I still can't believe it. How did that happen? If this was the Yankees a month ago, they would have lost that game. It's unbelievable. All right, let's get into it. It's time for me to try and do a live read on camera. I'm totally afraid of doing this. And I'm just letting you all know that, yeah, okay, let's try this. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your sports action. Baseball season is in full swing, and you can track all the action at BetOnline. You can get the latest news, odds, and info for all your sporting needs, including MLB, NBA, NHL, and all your UFC, MMA action. Before the next pitch, head on over to BetOnline. I can do this on your laptop or mobile device and check out all the great sporting news, sign-up bonuses, and contest information. Don't sit on the sidelines anymore, as this is your chance to get into the game as teams prep for their runs to the playoffs, or their runs to try and make the playoffs, like the Yankees. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code LOCKEDON. BetOnline, your online sportsbook experts. Okay, I got through it, guys. I can't believe it. Anyway, you have no idea how difficult it is sometimes to do that without screwing up. I screwed up once. That wasn't too bad. So let's look at the box score for today's game. Let's go through everything because I won't say it. The Yankees were 4 for 12 with runners in scoring position. So when the Red Sox loaded the bases in the 7th inning, my first thought was it would have been nice if you had scored some of those runs that you left on the bases. How many times did they leave the bases loaded? It was ridiculous. They left 10 on base. Gary Sanchez left 5? No, that can't be right. Are they left 19 on base? Wait a minute. Yeah, 19. That makes more sense. Velasquez left 5. Sanchez 5. Jonathan Davis 3. That's right, because he got up. He pinch ran and then hit. Or well, he didn't hit because he didn't get a hit with the bases loaded and the inning ended. So the Yankees only had 8 hits. And so did the Red Sox, actually. So it wasn't one of those games that was like a typical Yankees-Red Sox game, I guess. Or what was formerly a typical Yankees-Red Sox game. Jordan Montgomery, 4 2/3, 3 runs, 5 hits, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. Gave up a home run to Vasquez. Pain in the rear end. And he threw, let's see, he was at 78 pitches when they took him out. And they kind of had to take him out. But, not terrible. He started off stronger and then kind of fell apart there. And, he's also coming back from COVID. So I'll give him a pass on that. I'm not going to get mad at Jordan Montgomery for not doing as well as he could have, especially coming back from COVID, because, this is a new thing for everyone with this illness. You don't know how long it's going to last. And, back to Rizzo. He said he lost his sense of taste and smell. I don't know about you, but there are some cases where I wouldn't mind losing my sense of smell, especially when I used to live in Manhattan and had to walk past garbage in the middle of summer. or the 125th Street station on the A, B, C, and D lines. And if you're a Manhattanite, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Between the smell of death from the tracks and the fish stand up on 125th Street, whew, summer was bad. Actually, winter was bad there, to be completely honest. Now, let's see. What else can we talk about? I'm just impressed that the Yankees got out of that game and won. Because like I said, they've had so much trouble against the Red Sox this season. And the Red Sox are kind of falling back to earth a little bit. And I joked about this earlier in the season, that they were playing way above their heads, that they were probably going to fall off a cliff at some point, and that the Yankees season would correct itself and the Yankees would play better. And it seems to be happening, but you never know. Let's preview tonight's game, because that's happening. It's 7:05. It is 4:23 right now as I'm recording this, so we have some time. And it will be, oh, and I apologize. I really thought that Heel was starting the day game and Montgomery was starting the night game. Someone let me know if they reversed that on me today, because I could have sworn that it was the other way around. And that's how I previewed it yesterday. So I apologize for getting that wrong if I was wrong, but I don't think I was. I think they changed that on me. So Luis Heel against Nathan Eovaldi. Eovaldi is 10-7 on the year with a 3.92 ERA in 133 innings on the nose. He has 134 strikeouts in those 133 innings. He is 2-3 with a 4.46 ERA. So he's falling back to earth a little bit. That's his last 7 games. 42 1/3 innings, 21 earned runs on 40 hits. 50 strikeouts, so not terrible, but, things are catching up to him a little bit. And now I'm trying to remember, the Yankees faced him recently, and I can't find it. Darn it. His last game against Tampa was good, though. 7 innings, 1 run on 3 hits, 1 walk, 10 strikeouts, and he got the win. So, it'll be interesting to see which Nathan Eovaldi shows up. Luis Heel does not have an ERA because he has not given up a run yet. You can blame me if it happens. Okay, it's my fault. He's 1-0 in 11 innings, 14 strikeouts. So against Seattle, he pitched 5 innings, gave up 2 hits, walked 2, struck out 8, again, didn't give up a run. That game against Seattle, I spoke about it the day after the game. He was up to, I believe he was up to 45 pitches in the 3rd inning, and it didn't seem like he was going to be long for that game. And he pitched through 5, which I was very impressed with, and kept them off the scoreboard. So, the kid has done everything that the Yankees needed him to do. He stepped up in that spot start for Cole on, what day was that? The 3rd against Baltimore. And in that game, 6 innings, no runs, 4 hits, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts, got the win. And again, he's doing everything that the Yankees want him to do. Even if he does end up giving up a run or 2 tonight, it's still okay. He's doing really well for someone that people were a little afraid of when they first called him up for that spot start against Baltimore, because he hadn't been doing that well in AAA, and he surprised everyone. And it's at least been a pleasant surprise, so that's always a good thing. So yeah, Heel against Eovaldi, that's at 7:05. And then tomorrow's game. I'll do a full preview of that tomorrow, but Andrew Heaney is starting tomorrow's game. I don't know what Aaron Boone, I almost said Aaron Judge. I don't know what Aaron Boone is thinking with this. I guess he's thinking that Heaney is a body and he's alive and he throws the ball, because, I don't know. That's an odd choice. The Red Sox could destroy him. I mean, the White Sox did in the Field of Dreams game. You could see him giving up 4 home runs against the Red Sox. Wouldn't be the first time that's happened with a Yankees pitcher. I'm almost envisioning Chase Whitley. You all remember that, the 4 home runs in a row at Fenway. I'm picturing them right now. What a nightmare. So yeah, Andrew Heaney against Pivetta tomorrow night, but I'll have a full preview of that game on tomorrow's episode. I'll also have the recap of tonight's game on tomorrow's episode. And yeah, I don't know. I don't like the Heaney move. I know no one else does either. Okay, I'm sorry. I can't figure out why If you're not watching me, you're not going to understand why I'm laughing at myself, but I'm looking at myself on the screen and I look funny. Anyway, I need to talk about today's game again. I'm sorry. We're going back to it because I really I can't believe that the Red Sox did not score with the bases loaded in the 9th inning. How did that happen? Honestly, I even turned it off because I didn't want, I thought to myself, nope. So I set everything up here, got everything going, got the lights going, got my sound going. And I checked my phone and saw a 5-3 final and thought, how'd that happen? So I didn't even see it happen. So I don't actually know what happened. So if someone can tell me on Twitter, that would be great. So let's get into another ad break. And I apologize if I screw up, but I'm trying. Oh, I won't screw this up. This episode is brought to you by Rock Auto. With the ever-increasing numbers of makes and models, it's now impossible for your local chain parts store to stock everything that you need. And why endure often pointless or seemingly intimidating questioning? See, I knew I was going to screw up. And wait while the person behind the counter orders the parts on their computer. And they only choose the brand that they have. They don't even choose the brand that you might want. You have computers with access to rockauto.com at home and in your pocket. You can save money when using Rock Auto. Rock Auto is a family business serving do-it-yourselfers for over 20 years. Their prices are reliably low for every customer. They have everything you could need from brake parts, tail lamps, motor oil, and even new carpet. So go explore their easy-to-use website to find the solution to your auto parts needs. Go to rockauto.com right now and see all the parts available for your car or truck, right locked on in their How Did You Hear About Us box so they know we sent you. Let's try that again. So they know we sent you. Amazing selection, reliably low prices, all the parts your car will ever need. rockauto.com. So it is Tuesday, September 17th. And right now, as we look at the standings, and I'm going to pull them up on my trusty phone, this is the time that the Yankees need to take care of business, right? Because they're playing the Red Sox in 3 games. You got tonight's game, you got tomorrow's game. Right now, they're a game behind them. And the Yankees are 7-3 in their last 10. And they've won their last 4. So this is the time they need to win. No more of this worrying about everyone else or watching scoreboards and waiting for other people to take care of their stuff. They need to take care of stuff themselves. This is it. I know it's only August 17th, but before you know it, it's going to be the end of September. So the Yankees really need to take care of some stuff. Now, I want to talk about the other divisions and stuff because I didn't realize how awful the Cubs have been. They've lost 12 in a row. I didn't realize that. I saw someone say it on Twitter last night and I thought, that can't be right. Oh, it's right. You know how in the standings they have win-loss, winning percentage, games back, and last 10? Yeah. 0-10. And Pittsburgh is 1-9. Washington is 1-9. Washington's lost 7 in a row. They're not doing great. Pittsburgh's only lost 3 in a row, but 0-10. Yeah, that's not great. I'm trying to look at Baltimore's lost 12 in a row as well. I didn't realize that. I haven't really been paying attention to Baltimore. So obviously they're 0-10 in their last 10. Boston's 5-5. Toronto's 5-5. So the standings right now, the Yankees are 5 games behind Tampa, 1 game behind Boston. And in the wild card, the Yankees in Oakland are in a dead heat. Oakland has one less win than the Yankees. They're at 68-51. So they have one less win, 1 less loss. And oh no, I'm looking at Boston. I'm sorry. The Yankees are a game behind Oakland and Boston. So the Yankees are right there. And again, they need to take care of business. The White Sox beat Oakland last night, which helps the Yankees. So we'll have to root for the White Sox again tonight against Oakland. And let's see, the Yankees run differentials back up to +22. Toronto is at +127, which isn't surprising. That offense is pretty good. Houston is +164. Wow. That's Yeah. Oh, let's look at okay, the Dodgers. I was going to say the Dodgers are at plus 194 for runs for the run differential. That's wow. And they're 8-2 in their last 10. They've won 4 in a row. They swept the Mets this weekend. And the poor Mets. Okay, can I talk about the Mets? I know I was ripping on them yesterday. Well, I was ripping on their fans yesterday. I wasn't ripping on the actual Mets. They play the Dodgers in Citi Field on Sunday night, and then they have to play San Francisco Monday night in San Francisco. That's not fair. Could you imagine if the Yankees had to do that? Say they played Boston on a Sunday night ESPN game and then had to fly out to play like Seattle on a Monday night. That's kind of BS. If I was a Mets fan, I'd be pretty pissed right now. And I think the Mets players themselves were pissed because I'm not sure if the Sunday night game was supposed to be a Sunday night game. They may have changed it. It may have originally been a day game. And then they figured because at the time when they switched it, the Mets were in first place in the NL East. And they thought, hey, NL West, NL East will have a big marquee matchup on Sunday Night Baseball, and then things didn't work out that way. So the Mets were kind of screwed, and they ended up losing last night. So, I don't actively root for the Mets to lose. I'm not one of those Yankee fans because, honestly, the Mets, they're not in our division. They're not in our league. They're in the National League. The only time I care about the Mets is when the Yankees are playing them one-on-one, and even then, I can hardly care anymore. I've said it many times. I'll say it again. I think the Subway Series is played out. I think that they should do away with it for at least 3 seasons. And it needs to have like a fresh start. There needs to be a pause there for a bit. And then pick it up again. Maybe in, 2024, 2025. When I'm in my 50s and, won't be caring that much about baseball. I won't be, living and dying with every breath that I take. Anyway, so to recap today's episode, the Yankees won last night against the Angels. Gerrit Cole came back, pitched pretty well. I can speak. And they won 2-1. Scoring early, and the bullpen helped Cole out. Cole pitched 5 2/3, and then the bullpen came in, kept the Angels off the board. And then in today's afternoon game, the Yankees win 5-3 against the Red Sox. Jordan Montgomery comes back from his COVID IL trip and only pitches 4 2/3, but that's okay. That's fine. The bullpen did their job, especially Jonathan Loaisiga. He had a clean first inning of work. And then the 7th inning was frightening, and I still don't understand how on earth he got out of that 7th inning with the bases loaded, no outs, and didn't allow Boston to score. He had 3 strikeouts in 2 innings, so good for him. So that's it for this episode of Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'd like to remind you all that you can listen to the show in Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Odyssey, Spotify, Stitcher, wherever else you get your podcasts. And when you get into your car, you can tell your smart device to play podcast Locked On Bets. Betting on the Yankees doesn't have to be a guessing game if you listen to the new Locked On Bets podcast hosted by your boy Q and handicapping expert Lee Sterling. Get daily picks, blowout specials, wrong team favorite picks, Lee Sterling's lock of the day. Follow the Locked On Bets podcast, brought to you by betonline.ag, wherever you get podcasts. One more thing, if you could be so kind, please rate the podcast and spread the word about this podcast to your fellow Yankee fans. We would really appreciate it. Subscribe to YouTube if you can. So enjoy your Tuesday. Enjoy tonight's game. Hopefully it'll be a good one. And I will talk to you all tomorrow.